Yo, what's up everybody? Crazy Out CAYNE here, back again. It's time for some Bike of the Month action. That's right, August is over and we are in September. It's September 1st, Labor Day. Great time for me to talk about the bikes that were featured in August. As you can see, we got some nice ones right here, man. We got the S&M in orange, we got the Standards, we got the Skyway right here. But only 3 of those bikes made the top 3. So let's get into it right now. Starting with bike number 3, and that bike is a 2024 S&M Steel Panther BMX racing bike. Bike is looking real fresh. It's a nice tight color scheme. You got the orange going on with the frame. Everything else is pretty much black except for the stem and the spider, and also the chain ring got some polish in there. So it's a real nice bike and looks real long. It looks like it's a double XL or a triple XL maybe. It's looking like a 22-inch top tube, and that rear end looks really long, so it might be somewhere in the 15. This bike was submitted by Bobby Jones, and Bobby said after building a couple of bikes last year, he wanted to return to the basics, a simple chromoly frame with a slight mix of new and old, something that could hold its own on the dirt or rip through the neighborhood with the kiddos. Definitely this bike can do it all. As you've seen in my previous video where I was riding my bike around with the seat extender, I use it as a road bike, use it as a bike on the track, trail, skate park, all that good stuff, and this bike right here is well capable of doing that. Now the Steel Panther is chromoly, 4130 chromoly, but it's also well capable of doing everything else as long as you ain't jumping off of rooftops and stuff like that. Even though that bike could probably handle it too, being that it's chromoly, but it's more geared towards racing and trail style riding. It could definitely be used as a multi-purpose BMX bike on all levels. So now that we know about the inspiration for this build, let's check out those parts, son. So this bike features 160mm ODI flangeless grips. You know the ODI grips got that nice grip to them, man. These things feel real good. I have a pair on my bike and I really love these joints right here. They have a really good feel to them. He got some 9-inch rise TNT handlebars looking real fresh. Shout out to TNT, Mark over there at TNT doing his thing. We also have this shot of the forks. It's got the TNT logo right here in the bottom. He has the Pro Max 108mm brake kit, so that means it comes with the brakes, comes with the brake cable, and it also comes with the brake lever, all in one, baby. As you can see right here, we have the brake lever. It's got some cool little logo on it. I don't know what that logo is, but that's pretty cool. You also have the Pro Max logo right there, so this is part of the kit. The Tioga Surefoot slim pedals right here. It's got some nice pins in it, nylon plastic pedals, and I didn't even know Tioga made pedals. You also have the JW 22mm Spider right here, looking all polished and nice. You also have the Krupi Rhythm Half-Link Hollow Pin Chain right here. It's got the polish in there too to go with the polish on the Spider. Then we have the S&M Race XLT 49mm stem right here. Pretty light, strong and light at the same time. So Krupi headset. So this is the Krupi headset right here. Headset spaces and all that good stuff. But you also have the TNT stem cap, so it must come with the forks. Might be a screw-on thing that they have that go with the forks. I'm not sure. Actually, nope, because here goes the screw right there. So this is a TNT stem cap for the stem. Tioga Spider pivotal seat, which is super light. Real nice seat. A lot of people have these on their bikes, their racing bikes especially. You also have the Krupi pivotal seat post, S&M 30mm QR seat post clamp right here. This is the seat post clamp. Let's see if we can get a better look at the seat post clamp. The S&M branding right here on the front of the seat post clamp. Now this is an interesting choice for a BMX racing bike. You got the Free Agent cranks right here. So these are the Free Agent 48 spline drive 175mm cranks. We also have a 44 tooth Renan sprocket. Shout out to George Costa. It's 70/75 aluminum, so it's a lot stiffer and a lot lighter than 6061. A lot of sprockets come in 7000 series aluminum for the stiffness and lightness, which also helps it stay straight. Know what I mean? And these big old nuts right here are pork chop axle nuts. You can put your C-wrench on there or put your socket set on there and not have to worry about it getting stripped out. They're probably really strong and durable. Sometimes you get those axle nuts and they're very flaky and they strip out real easy, but these look very strong and durable and can last. MCS 19mm bottom bracket. So here you go, you got the MCS branding, you got a nice little spacer right there, nice blue colorway. against those free agent cranks. Bobby's rolling on Tioga Power Block tires. He's got 20 by 2.10 in the back and also in the front, so he's rocking with the big wheel. So this bike right here got the big wheel action going on. And you also see the pork chop axle nut here, XS BMX 16 tooth freewheel, and it has 106 points of engagement. So you can always find a great position for your cranks when you come out the gate, and you can also know that when you snap out of the gate, or if you're just sprinting around, that there's not a whole bunch of slack between your engagement and you turning the pedal. So as soon as you pedal, that bike is engaged. I'm liking the rear dropout here on this bike. You got the internal chain tensioning system right here, very low key looking, which is pretty cool. You got the Steel Panther sticker on the seat tube, which looks pretty cool. You also have the Steel Panther sticker on the down tube, and he has the blue bottom bracket to match some of the blue that's in the decal itself. And he didn't really get me a good picture of the head tube, but you can see the S&M logo is embossed in the head tube right there, and that's also a cool feature to the bike. So when you're rating these bikes, you got to keep all those small details in mind when you're rating the bikes when it comes to the parts and everything like that. Another cool small feature on this bike is that he has a Velcro strap to strap his brake cable to keep it from slamming against the frame and making noise, and also rubbing away at the paint job. So that's another cool feature right there. So all these little things actually add up to what you should be rating these bikes for. So now that we're done with the parts list, let's check out what the ratings are on this bike. So the 2024 Steel Panther, the orange Steel Panther, it's got an 8.37 total color score, originality 7.48, parts 7.49, overall style 8.15, giving it a total overall rating score of a 7.87. Now only 5 people gave this bike a rating, and that's not a lot of people to give this bike a rating. So if you're watching this at home, please come to sugarcayne.com and give this bike a rating, because bike of the month is over, but there's also bike of the year. So I want to see what bikes are going to become bike of the year. So if you have not rated this bike or any bike in this video or on the actual sugarcayne.com, when you go there, definitely want to see you guys put your input in there by rating the bikes and leaving comments and stuff like that. So let's check out the last couple of ratings that were given to this bike. So you have Greg, which gave the bike an 8.19 out of 10, and John Farmer gave it an 8.43 out of 10. Didn't really feel the parts too much, so he gave it a 6.4. But he also gave the color a 10 and the overall style 9.2, so he was liking that part. You can also put your reactions and your response to how you feel people rated the bikes. You can go down some more, and we also have the reaction emoji, so if you want to just put your reaction in, we have that. And we have 5 people that thought it was dope and 9 people who loved it. So we have 9 people who loved it, but we only got 5 ratings. So some of them people need to go back up in here and give this bike a rating. And when you go down a little further, we have the likes, and it's got 11 likes, which is cool. And just to let y'all know that I also have a year-end competition for the bike with the most likes. So down here we got 3 comments. First one is by Greg. Greg said, love the Steel Panther build. Orange looking great. Then we have Roy Washington Jr., who also submitted several bikes to Bike of the Day. That's my dude right there. Shout out to Roy Washington Jr. Do you guys agree with Roy when he says that the D-Spider saddle is great for all chromoly bikes, for all chromoly race builds? Let me know in the comments. Come back to sugarcayne.com. Check out Roy's bike. He's got the Bulldog Black Star. Rest in peace to Jimmy Mack, Bulldog Bikes, and do that. So let me give my boy Roy a like right here. And you guys can come back to the site too and give a like or a dislike to any comments that are on here. And we also have John, who says, I'm digging it. Love a nice steel frame. Only thing, the pedals don't seem to match the quality of the rest of the build, probably because they're all composite. All right, y'all, so that was bike number 3 on the list. Let's go to bike number 2. Which one do you think is in number 2? And that bike is a 2018 Elf Double Cross BMX race bike in a nice pink colorway. Definitely giving off like a Hutch Hollywood vibe right here. This one was submitted by John Devichenko. He also submitted another bike previously on Bike of the Day, so shout out to John for coming back and representing for bike of the day. John said that he was inspired by his mid-80s colorway and the Hutch pink. See, there you go, Hutch inspiration right there. He always liked the elf geometry in the frames, and he thought the double cross would be the perfect bike to give it an old school look with a new school flavor. So big shout out to John DeVecchio. Big shout out to John DeVecchio for representing. And this bike is actually a nice addition to the bikes that have been submitted. You know, we're getting some nice colorful things happening again. For a minute there, we started getting bikes that were all the same color. And if it's dope, it's dope. I'm still going to post it, but sometimes it just be too many back-to-back bikes of the same color. So now that we know about the inspiration for the build, let's check out those parts, son. All right, so this bike has a lot of elf parts on there, which is really dope. And let's start with the Big Boy Blast bars. These are 10-inch rise handlebars, the Big Boy Blast bars. Woo, looking real fresh. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars, 6 pieces on this bad boy. And it's looking real fresh. Got that old school flavor. Got the nice Oakley sticker right there and that lavender colorway. Rocking the AME grips in red. Let's go to the fork section right here. So we have the elf forks right there. A little bit close up. Nice chrome plated forks right here. We also have an elf stem with a milled out cap. It actually has the elf logo milled it out on the stem, which is really, really dope. Have an elf seat right here, nice and padded for that comfort. Got an elf seat post with the profile sticker on there. The Chris King headset, and you also have this really nice pad set here. This is done by Custom Street Toys. It's an elf pad set, and it's really, really dope, man. They do a good job on the pads. You got the elf dice valve caps right here, looking really fresh and pink as well. You got the Profile Elite hubs with the Profile Elite freewheel, which is a 19-tooth freewheel. You also have a fresh set of Redline 401 reissued cranks in 180. These are some 180 millimeter cranks. Classic. Love that classic style American bottom bracket. Here's a good look at the cranks and also that double cross chainstay, looking really, really fresh. And check out the actual dropout. The dropout has its own little look to it too. So all these things add points for me. When it comes to the looks department and originality, this right here is fire. And you see he has some Comp 3 tires on there, keeping it nice and old school style. Then he has this nice, beautiful, and also deadly pedals on here. We have some beautiful but deadly Evil Alloy Pro Round pedals on here. Looking real polished and butter and fresh. But man, you better wear some shin pads if you plan on riding this bike and doing some kind of tricks. Even if you just mistakenly slip your pedal or pick your bike up and the pedal slams on you, you're getting some skin taken away with these bad boys. He has an Izumi chain and also a Redline sprocket on here. He's rocking the 4319. It must be hilly where he lives, because that right there is a spinny gear, like spinny, not going anywhere type of gear. If you do flat land, that could work. And if you have a lot of hills, that could definitely work. But yeah, for as far as speed is concerned, you ain't really gonna be going nowhere with that gear ratio. So I wonder why he picked that gear ratio. John, if you're checking this out, definitely let me know in the comments why this gear ratio choice. Especially you got 180s on there, you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be spinning out real fast. You have the Sun Envy rims done up nice and polished, looking real fresh. The seat guts right here are made by Bassett, so Bassett seat guts right here to connect the seat post to the seat. He also has a Quinton brake cable on here. Never heard of Quinton brake cable, but this is a Quinton brake cable. I'm curious to know what that's all about. He also has an Evil Alloy Pro brake set, so the brake lever and also the the calipers are right there, but they're all faded out. You have the Elf Mothership C-post clamp, which is the same as their logo, the same shape as their logo. C4 Labs did the custom Hollywood powder pink paint job on here. You also have the Elf chain tensioners right here, which also has the Elf branding shape right there, and you get a better look at the dropout. I think it would have been cool if this part of the dropout was welded together. Not sure why they didn't weld this part together. It's just this part here which is welded, so that's a detail right there. If you're rating the bike, might be something to consider. You also have the Elf donuts on the AME grips to help you save your finger, like right there your finger rubs on the grip, when it has the flanges like that, and the donuts are made specifically to save yourself from getting a blister on your finger when you ride with those type of bikes, those type of grips. Bar ends on here are EVA alloy as well. That's pretty much everything on this bike. It looks really fresh. The only thing that I know all the BMX race guys and BMX street guys are definitely gonna have a problem with on this bike right here is the fact that the handlebars are Chicago'd out. It's a BMX race bike with Chicago'd handlebars, and when you say Chicago'd, if you don't know, it's when the handlebars are really far forward. Most BMXers keep their handlebars pretty vertical or maybe back a little bit. Some do a little bit Chicago, especially vert riders. You do a little bit Chicago sometimes. I've seen a couple of BMX race guys have it so flat that it seems like it's forward, but his handlebars are really far forward, so they're really Chicago'd out, and I know somebody's gonna have something to say about that. Another thing too about having your handlebars Chicago'd like that is that when you actually race, you definitely you don't have as much control over your bike when it's like that. Not when you're trying to like race and jump and things like that. You have way less control the further forward your handlebars are. So that's another thing. So practicality wise, just for cruising around, if you're just cruising, just riding around, that's cool. But if you want to do anything more aggressive than just cruising around, then you might want to bring them back a little bit, have them either vertical or slightly back. It's like the best position to have your handlebars at. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, about Chicago handlebars, about does it matter, do you care? Just let me know. It definitely doesn't take away the looks of this bike. This bike looks fantastic, so definitely tens on the looks for me, even with the handlebars forward. Also want you guys to really just take some time out, jump over to sugarcayne.com. I got the link in the description, and give this bike a rating. We really want to get honest opinions about these bikes, so when we get to the end of the year, we really find out whose bike is the #1 bike of the year. Alright, so the total color score has an 8.29, originality 8.18, parts 8.2, overall style 8.22, giving it a total rating score of an 8.22 currently as of this taping. This bike only has 8 ratings, so we definitely need more ratings than that. Latest rating came from Big Daddy, gave it an 8.95 overall. Overall style gets a 10. See, can't deny the style, man. Got some style there. I give him a little thumbs up on that right there. Color got an 8.3, originality 8.51, and he gave parts 8.94. And he's got some pretty pricey parts in there. I mean, he has all the elf parts on there, which is really dope. He also has the EVA alloy parts on there, which I really like. And the custom pad set definitely sets it apart from other bikes, in the style department. So you got to give him props on that. Then we got Wild Style 168, gave it an 8.81. Color got an 8.88. He gave originality 8.83. Parts 8.41. Overall style 9.1. So he got some really nice style points, right? So I'm gonna give him a thumbs up too for that. And let's go to the reactions. We got somebody who gave it a what? I'm not sure why. Maybe because of the Chicago handlebars. Then you also have 7 people said it was dope, 5 people said they love it, and then 1 person says why. So that must be somebody trolling. Of course, people be trolling. So anyways, then you also have 7 likes on this bike. Only 7 likes. Now remember what I told you before, that we have a end of the year bike with the most likes. So that competition is going on to the end of the year. So definitely come back if you're watching this in the year of 2025. Come back and give this bike a like, because there is a competition for that. All right, so real quick, we got 5 comments on this bike right here. And my dude Remo said, why is for the Chicago bars? Why is for, what kind of English is that? Why for come Chicago bars? He gave it a big no. He said, a beautiful specimen messed up by this. Sorry, agree to disagree. Okay, so he's very opinionated about it. My boy Remo is very opinionated about that. What do you guys think about the Chicago bars on that? Is that a big no for you? Does that decrease the ratings of this bike, or does it matter with the ratings on this bike? Andrew Cohen that says that's a sweet ride. Brian Compton says ripping style homes. I definitely want to see all BMX bikes of all types, dirt jumpers of all types, as long as they have front suspension, flatland BMX bikes, street, 29 inch, 26 inch, all that. Definitely want you guys to submit your bikes. Don't feel afraid to submit your bike because you see other bikes or because somebody might be critical of your part choice or whatever. But this is not really, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and we're all about sharing ideas and sharing different things about bikes, because just because one person may not like it, another person may love it. One person might be like, yo, that's exactly what I was looking to do on my bike, or they might see a part that they like or something like that, and we're all just sharing ideas and sharing our expression of BMX to everybody. And that's what that is, you know, your riding style, the bike that you ride, the clothes you wear, all that stuff, you know, just representing your interpretation of what BMX is to you. So definitely don't feel afraid to submit your bikes just because a couple people may not give you all 10s. Okay, so moving on from that, we're about to go to bike number uno, and the number one bike is a standard 125R OS20 Triple T custom BMX bike. That's right, this bike right here has some really dope features on it. Number one, it has a twin top tube. It's a 125R classic dope, super dope BMX racing bike, super dope chromoly BMX racing bike with twin top tube. So the 125R with a twin top tube, what? Giving you them Torque vibes, you know what I'm saying? Giving you those Harrow vibes from back in the day. So it's got that vintage flavor, but with that standard quality. This bike right here was submitted by Mark Wisbicki, and it looks real fresh. I saw it in person when I went to that Bethel State race, and if you saw that video, you might have seen that too. And the bike just really looks amazing. It definitely stands out of the crowd. Mark said he wanted something that made people stop and look and wonder what it was. Most people think it's a cruiser from far next to a 20-inch, then second guess it up close with his twin top tube. He had the geometry tweaked a little bit to his liking, and he truthfully said that he built something that he'd never sell with his custom serial number. He says the bike rides very smooth and most don't notice the shortened back end, and ultimately it's a park bike rear with race gearing and disc brake and 22-inch twin top tube race front end. This bike has a lot of custom things going on with it, and big shout out to Mark for submitting this bike to Bike of the Day, man. Really appreciate that. And it's the number one bike, August 2025. So big shout out to you, Mark, for the win. So now that we know about the inspiration for this build, let's check out those parts, son. All right, so he has some OS20 TNT forks on here, and OS20 meaning that it is a bigger size than a 20-inch wheel, but it's a smaller size than a BMX Cruiser or a 24-inch bike. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a little bit more stability on your bike when you ride it, but you'll still have that 20-inch feel. He's also rocking a standard stem, which is covered up in this picture here. It's the best picture I could find of the stem, and he also has a pad right here to protect his knees. He's got 9-inch rise S&M Race XLT handlebars on the bike. ODI lock-on grips. There's no close-up shots of the ODI grips. Definitely need to get good pictures, especially when the bike is beautiful like this. We want to see some close-up shots, y'all. So this is the reason why it's important for you guys to send me close-up photos of the bike and different varieties of images of the bike, so that way we can showcase all the dopeness of the bikes that are submitted, especially the number one bike. He's got the Magura MTA Pro hydraulic disc brake with the Alligator Wind Cutter 140mm disc in the back right there. He's rocking the Clicks Weapons 177.5 crank set. He's got the Big Pedal Innovations Catalyst platform pedals. These things right here are huge, and they're really good for support when you have the flats on. Really good pedals. 44 tooth Renan sprocket right here. So big shout out to George Costa once again. Got 2 sprockets on the top 3 bikes of August 2025. He's got an Odyssey seat post clamp. He got a BSD pivotal seat, Tioga power block tires on the front and in the back. He's got an Onyx 20mm hub in the front with a box axle on it. Onyx Ultra rear hub is laced to T-bone carbon wheels with blue tech tubes. So right here he has a T-bone carbon rims looking real fresh with the rest of the bike. He also has a Primo half-link chain. A lot of people rocking the half-link chains nowadays. You also have, that looks like a Pro Max chain tensioner right here. Also on the Onyx hubs, he has a boxed titanium cog. He's also rocking the crit plate. And lastly, he has a ceramic bottom bracket, and he also has a Primo integrated headset. So this bike right here is amazing and definitely deserves a number one spot, but I really wish we had better pictures. Oh my goodness. so you can really get the full flavor of the bike and see some of the parts up close. But yeah, a standard twin top tube 125R with a shortened rear end, and it's OS 20. All right, y'all, so the overall color score is 8.23, originality 8.55, parts 8.35, overall style 8.42, giving this bike a total rating score of 8.39. Only 5 people gave this bike a rating, so not that many people came and gave this bike a rating. We need more of y'all to come out here onto the site and give this bike a rating. I might have to add presentation to the list, right? Maybe I go picture quality. Picture quality, should picture quality be added to the ratings along with color, originality, parts, overall style, and pictures? Maybe pictures should be part of it. So B Jones gave it an 8.21 overall. We have Brian Compton. Big shout out to Brian Compton, one of the #1 members. Big shout out to Brian Compton. He was the #1 member on the site last year, won a bunch of stuff. Actually won a frame. Brian gave it a 9.73. Given the overall style a 10, which it definitely is. Also gave originality a 10. I definitely agree with him on that. I'm gonna have to give him a thumbs up on that because yes, definitely. Then we also have some reactions. You have 2 people said it was dope, 5 people said they loved it, and 1 person said, oh snap, son. Then you also have the likes. You only have 7 likes. 7 likes, come on now. We need more likes than that. 6 comments, 5 or 6 comments on here from people, so it got some good response. Roy Washington once again talking about putting a Tioga Spider D pivotal saddle on this bike because he really likes the Spider saddle. He wants to see it on his bike as well. It's a Chrome Alley race bike, so he wants to see that. Then you also have Brian Compton says, now tell me this bike ain't finesse mahogany. And if you caught that, that's a hip-hop reference to Rakim's song Mahogany from back in the day. Let me give him a like for that. Big shout out to you for that. What do you guys think about the bikes in the top 3? As a matter of fact, before we even move on from that, I'm gonna show you the rest of the bikes that were featured in August 2025. Yes, this is a long one. Let me show you real quick the bikes that were submitted so you can check them out. So of course, #1 is the standard OS 20. We have the Elf Double Cross. We got the S&M Steel Panther. Then we have this green 2019 Hyper Assault Pro Cruiser 24-inch. And here's where the Skyway wound up. Skyway wound up in 5th place, 2017 Skyway TA. Then we also have a 2024 Chase RSP 5.0 looking real fresh. And we also got the 2000 GT Pro Series 24-inch. And wrapping up the top 8 is the 2022 Standard 125R in Raw. So out of all these bikes right here that you see, which bikes do you think should be in the top 3? Do you think that the bikes that are in top 3 should be in top 3? Which bike do you think should be #1 out of all the bikes that you see right here? Let me know. So that's it, y'all, the top bikes for August 2025. If you got a BMX bike of any type, any bike size, or a dirt jumper with front suspension, definitely submit it to sugarcayne.com. I have the link in the description. Definitely want you guys to submit your bikes so we can showcase them on the site. And if they're in the top 3, we'll talk about them on this series on my YouTube channel. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about the episode, the bikes, and everything else in the comments below. And with that being said, I am out. It's Crazy Al CAYNE, Bike of the Month. Back to you, Billy.